Hello, hi, and welcome. This is a moment where I'm having some thoughts, lots of thoughts, and I would like to talk about them. So, here is some food for thought, things that I like to chew on, conversations that I'm having with people, things that I'm feeling, what Ayurveda is teaching on the season. Yeah. What I love the most about Ayurveda, if you've never heard the word Ayurveda before and this is your first time hearing it, Ayurveda is the science of life. It is a science using the elements to describe life, to describe life that is going on outside of you and around you, and to describe life that is also going on within you, and to explain the relation between how the external environment affects the internal environment and how the internal environment is affected by the external environment, which is why food is so important. And Ayurveda uses food and nutrition to guide that because food is your connection from the internal to the external and vice versa. It's like the main source of getting information. But anyway, so Ayurveda is this ancient science that explains the science of life, and it uses the five elements, and it explains patterns in things and how they flow in that nature. And so what I love about this science the most is that I feel it gives me permission. It gives me permission to be my authentic self. And what I mean when I say my authentic self is how I am feeling, how I am choosing to express myself, how I am choosing to show up in this very moment, and allowing that to be different every time I come back to this moment or every new moment, right? You may have heard the quote, no man ever enters into the same river twice because it's no longer the same man and it's no longer the same river. I mean, essentially everything is going to change, and that is the energy that we are feeling right now as we shift seasons. Ayurveda is a seasonal science. They have different teachings and recommendations and all of it when it comes to changing seasons, eating seasonally, moving seasonally, scheduling seasonally, how to support yourself for that season so you can get the most out of it. And of course, like it's based off of the five elements. So within the seasons, we experience more of one element than the other, like summer. What element do you think we're experiencing a lot of in the summertime, right? Well, a lot of fire, of course, but also a lot of water, especially if you live where I live in South Louisiana. There's a lot of water too. And so put those together, you get one of the Ayurvedic doshas, the mind body types of Pitta. So we're changing from summer to fall. We're moving from Pitta season to the fall. What are some elements that we are going to be experiencing a lot of in the fall? The wind. The wind, it gets a little dry. Things start to get activated, like activations are happening right now. And so two different elements are going to be more present. The air is going to be more present, and those activations, that creative way of thinking is ether. Like our energy is elevated. So that's the ether element. And so whenever we shift into different seasons, our minds, the nature of our body will shift and change and react with the nature of the environment. And so how the qualities shift in the body also shift in the mind. And so what you may be feeling right now is a lot of creativity, is a lot of need for or desire for socializing, for connecting, for communicating, for networking, like spreading out. I was doing a podcast with one of my friends Jacqueline Hurst, which my friend put my pinky up to remind me to tell you something about that later. But anyway, we were having a conversation on a podcast, and the word I used the word to describe what I was feeling, and it's squirreling. So I feel the squirrel energy so big right now, and but also like the excitement of the shifts and the transitions and the things that we know are happening, we feel are happening, we know they have to happen, and they always happen. It happens every fall, right? But it is that excitement and that curiosity and that, like, I'm waiting, I'm willing to be surprised, like I'm waiting. But that can also cause anxiety. That can also cause fear. That could also cause like frustration and irritation because you have to let it go. You have to move on. You have to change. You can't, you can't stay this way. Like, you have to change. And whether you don't want to change or not, like, the winds are coming. So it's going to happen. And so feeling that frantic energy, that need to prepare, that need to connect, that need to communicate and socialize and create. It's like that last bit of summer that we have, a percolation of like, oh, what is this going to be? It's like really exciting. And so in the mind, that can show up as anxiety and fear, also insomnia. In the physical body, that can show up as dry skin, that can show up as constipation, that can show up as bloating, gas, eye dryness, ear pain. So just being aware on how your body is experiencing the new season. Kids are getting sick. Kids are, spiking little fevers and whatever you want to call it. Our children's little bodies and little immune systems are telling us that things are shifting and things are changing. And so their little bodies are still so intelligent because they have less illusions than we do. They're a little more in touch with the creative essence, with the creator. But their little bodies are communicating with us that we need to shift, we need to change, we need to start slowing down, and we need to nourish ourselves in a different way. And then Ayurveda comes in and tells you how to do that. And I think it's cool, and I love talking about it. But yeah, transitions. All of the transitions are happening right now. I've been playing around with this card deck. It's an affirmations card deck or an oracle card deck, whatever you want to call it. And I love the way spirit, the Holy Spirit, great spirit. I love the way it moves and it guides and it shows. And so I asked the question of, because my mind, I have so many thoughts. I have thoughts all the time, but right now I'm like, oh, that could be this, and this is great, and let me remember that, and I need to act on it and do it, and then have another thought, and I'm squirreling, y'all. I'm ping-ponging all over the place. And so I got the cards out, and I was like, what is it? I'm like, what am I feeling? Like, what am I feeling? Give me some words to describe what I'm feeling. And so I pulled it, and yeah, it says, trust the seasons. Trust the seasons. Trust the seasons. Embracing change, cycles of life, transition, and growth. Trust the seasons. If you come to my women's circles and you're watching this, we were kind of already on this topic in our energy sister circle, on how in the energy of summer, whether you're in your menstrual cycle or not, but the energy of summer is that energy that we love, because we feel beautiful, we're in the sun, we're focused, we're driven, we're doing, we're producing. And that feels good because that's what the world expects. Like, we're checking off tasks, we feel valuable. But then when the fall and the winter rolls around, it requires us to be something different. but we don't allow ourselves to be different. We don't allow ourselves to show up in a different way, even though that's what's required of us. And so, yeah, permission to be authentic in this moment. Allow yourself to be different every season. Yeah. And it takes curiosity and awareness to even know that the seasons are changing, because believe it or not, there are people, that aren't even aware. Like they feel it, but they're not aware that the seasons are changing. Um, but anyway, I thought that was really beautiful. So yeah, how can you support yourself so you can embrace the change? For me, it is finding outlets for my creativity. I have a lot of creative energy flowing through me right now. And so I'm finding a lot of ways to plug in and network and connect and collaborate. But I also know that I'm not going to be able to do that forever, right? And this is the season for it. So I'm going with it. And whenever the season shifts and changes, then I'll shift and change. Right now, I am enjoying more colder, raw, crisper foods. I know that that is going to have to change because I feel the gas starting to build up in my body whenever I eat them. So I'm just taking note of those types of things. Putting more oil on my skin whenever I do my oil massage. Right now I'm using coconut oil, which is very cooling. And I will eventually switch to untoasted sesame oil because that's a little more warming and nourishing to the skin whenever it does become drier. I don't usually deal with dry skin. I'm a very moist person, moist and oily. So that's not one of my big issues, but yeah. So just tune in to what you are feeling and how you feel different every day. How you desire to show up differently every day, every season. And give yourself permission to be in the season that you're in. Just be in it. If you're in a season of grief, be in it. If you are in a season of joy, be in it. Be in it. Swim in it. Play in it. Be curious. Just be in it. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I just see creative energy. I just got inspired for the next food for thought, which I'm gonna have to write it down because otherwise, or maybe I'll just, yeah. Anyway, oh yes, the pinky thing about, okay, me and my friend Jacqueline Hurst, we decided to get together and create something for you guys. We did this 21-day challenge where it was movement and nutrition, and people loved it, and they showed up with a way that we could serve them. And so we decided to put together a 6-month course where there will be 5 days of movement and 1 day of community gatherings to kind of talk and just get together and talk about things like this, conscious things like this with Jax and I. Jax is an intuitive guide. She does guided meditation through journaling, and she kind of guides and reads the energies. But yeah, we would love to have you. We start September 9th. I'll drop the link here if it's something you want to learn a little bit more about. And you can always message me. You can always find me. You can always ask me questions. I've got some free webinars coming up. I'll also link those in there. And then you guys, like, the fall cleanse is going to happen November. We're going to start in November, so you have some time, but the fall cleanse is great to rebalance and renew, and help you make that transition from summer to fall as it removes all the impurities and the toxins from your body to make the transition a little bit smoother. So your immune system gets that little pick me up. I'll throw all those links in there, but as always, just be in it. That's the message. Just be in it. Love you guys.